Good morning and thanks for watching. Today we're going to be inside. We're going to be in the kitchen. It is hot, hot, hot outside. So we got a couple things we're going to do in here. One thing is I'm going to be putting up some dried beans, some pinto Great Northern mix. And then Anita, she's going to make some chili, some hot dog chili. She makes great chili. So she's going to show you how we do that, how she does that rather. So stick around and hope you enjoy it. Well, as I said earlier, we're going to be in the kitchen today. This afternoon it's hot outside, so we've got a couple projects going on. There's Anita right there. She's going to be helping, but she got to leave in a minute to run our youngest granddaughter to to volleyball camp. So when she gets back, she's going to be in here with me, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. A couple things going on. Let me turn you around and show you. Okay, we're ready to get started. As you can see, there's Biscuit in his chair right there. And got Magnum PI on the TV. So we're going to get here and get started. When Nita gets back, she's going to jump in here and help. We got a couple things we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is can some pinto beans. Now last night I broke my bag open of beans, went through them, covered them with water, and let them sit overnight. So they've been soaking for, I don't know, 15, 16 hours or so. And the reason I like to can my pinto beans for a couple of reasons. One is when we decide we want some, bam, they're ready to go. Pull a jar out and eat them. And the second thing is the quantity. I'll put a pint of beans right here, and I'm going to count them in quart jars. And the reason being, a pint of beans is plenty for me and my wife to eat. But then the rest of the jar will be filled up with the juice. Okay, you got to have juice for those beans. Give that cornbread something to suck up. So we're going to get started. My beans have been soaking. I'm going to pour them in my colander right here, drain them, rinse them, then put them back in a pot, bring them to a simmer, let them simmer for 30 minutes, and they'll be ready to can. So let's get with it. All right, it's been 30 minutes. We've got our beans simmered. And by the way, these are pinto and Great Northern mix. That's what we like here. And what I'm doing is I'm taking a pint jar, fill it to the top, pour it in right there. As you can see, fill it about halfway up. And we're gonna fill it the rest way up with the juice from the beans. Put in a teaspoon of salt. Wipe our rims down with some white vinegar to make sure there's nothing, no grease or anything on it. Put our lids and our bands on, screw them down finger tight. So I'm going to do that and I'll bring you back. Well, there they are. They're ready to go in the pressure canner. Remember, bands on, just finger tight. So let's give them the canner. That's what they look like right there. You see about halfway, a little more with beans, the rest with the juice. So let's get them in the canner. We got a canner, pressure canner going, and I don't know if you can see, but it's venting. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out. The steam's coming out of the vent. Got a timer set for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We're going to put our weight on, wherever it is. I'm going to put a weight right here on at 10 pounds. Where I am right here, 10 pounds is what we pressure can everything on. And beans, dried beans, pint, 75 minutes. Quarts or 90 minutes. So when I put my weight on, I get it up to 10 pounds of pressure. I'll set my timer for 90 minutes and we'll just let them cook. Okay, Nita's back in the house. I told you had a couple things we're going to do in the kitchen today. We've got our first load of beans in the pressure canner outside going. Now the second thing we're going to do, she's going to do it, is she's going to make some chili, some hot dog chili. And she's been making it for a long time. Now, where did you learn to make chili?
From my daddy. And my daddy learned how to make it from years ago. There used to be a place downtown Greenville called Fall Street Cafe, but all the
locals.
locals called it the cat dive. So that's where he learned to make his hot dog chili.
And it is really
It's really
good.
good.
Really good. So we're
But
going
it's something that I'm going to try to measure today, but usually we don't measure, but I'm going to show you how I do it. It's really good. It's simple. And I think if I could do it, anybody can do it.
And it's really not, we don't need a lot of hot dogs. What we usually do, like we're going to do tonight, is have chili cheese.
Yeah, we have chili cheese
What
sandwiches.
what we do is we take loaf bread with some chili on it, a slice of cheese, and another piece of white bread on top. And it is really good.
Really good. Yeah, because we just don't like we eat hot dogs with weenies, but
Not very often.
we prefer, because just the two of us buying a pack of buns and a pack of weenies, usually it ends up getting thrown out. So this is just easier for us and we like it better.
All right, well get going, little girl.
All right. All right, the first we're going to do is...
I bought I bought a pack of hamburger yesterday. You see part of it's gone. We had tacos last night. So she's going to take the rest of this and make her chili with. And this is ground chuck. It's an 80-20.
Yes, 80-20. But, you know, you can do the other, just the regular chili. But what I do is I just take my hand and I just put and I'm going to use my hands. My hands are clean. And I just kind of mash it around, kind of get it a little, and you can determine if you like thin chili or thicker chili. So, and then you just take your cold water and you put a little water in there like that, and then you, like I said, you just mash it around till you get it, put a little more water on it. Sometimes I get too much water in it, but that's okay too. But you want enough water in there for it to boil. Maybe just a little bit more. And then you just want it to be kind of like that consistency. Okay, and at first I cook it on high to begin with. Then I take my ketchup, shake it down, and just do 2 big squirts like that. And I put in my pepper. I put a little bit more pepper in there than I do salt. And maybe about that much salt, and just kind of sprinkle it around. Now, garlic powder. And like I said, you just sprinkle. If you like a lot of garlic, put a lot in there. If you don't put a lot of garlic. Okay, now, all right, we're gonna kind of let this get going a little bit. Stir all this up. Okay, when it kind of starts boiling a little bit, and you like that, then you start adding your chili powder. And you just put a little bit in like that. And then you stir this around. And then we're just gonna let it cook a little bit more, and then we'll add some more chili powder, and I'll show you about that. Okay. When it starts just boiling a little bit, this is when I start putting more of my chili powder in. Chili powder. And this is by smell. You just put it in, and then you just stir it. And then you can just kind of smell. And you can tell when you feel like you've got enough chili powder in there by the smell. See, I can smell the flavor of the chili powder. So I know I've got enough chili powder in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this boil for about 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm gonna keep stirring it so it won't stick on the bottom of the pan. Then when it gets through with that, I'm gonna turn it down on low, and I'm gonna cover it and let it just simmer for about 15 minutes and then turn it off, and we'll see the end result. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes, and this is what my chili looks like now. Yeah, it's a good, it's not too thin and not too thick.
It's just right.
Yeah, it's just right. Now, I started out on a high heat, boiling it, and it got to boiling really good, so I turned it down to the medium, and I have, you know, kind of stood in here and watched it and started to get burn on the bottom. So now I'm going to turn it on low, and I'm just going to let it sit like that with a little...
Let the lid cocked on it.
Lift the lid cocked on it. I'm going to let it sit like that for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll stir it again, and then I'll remove it from the heat, cover it with this, and we'll be done.
Okay.
Okay. And there we go. Good chili. Okay, so I've let it sit on low with that for about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to turn it off. Put it back here. I'm going to cover it up. And I'm done. I'm just going to let it sit there until we get ready to eat supper.
It's going to be good tonight. Chili cheese for supper.
Yeah.
Then we're going to take what's left after it cools off, split it up into 3 or 4 containers.
Yep. And then we'll
Put it in the
have
freezer, and we'll have it ready to go.
Exactly. We'll
Okay,
have it.
good job. Well, the chili's done. I'm looking forward to that for supper tonight. Probably do some fries to go with it. Chili cheese and fries. And our timer went off. Our beans are done. It's been 90 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it off and just let it cool down on its own. Do not help it. Just let it cool down on its own. And one more thing, I always keep in extra propane around. I knew my other one was getting low, but I've got 2 more, and I keep at least 1 full all the time. So I've had this one out here. The other one went down about halfway through, so I swapped it over. So our first round's down, we'll let it cool down, and here in just a little while we'll take those out and get round 2 going. Well, there we have it. There are the final results. We got 13 quarts. Halfway, you can see my beans are right here. We've got plenty of juice in there. That's just the perfect amount for the 2 of us. Start off with 4 pounds of beans, Pinto Great Northern Mix. 4 pounds, made 13 quarts for 2 people. Turned out good. Now there you go. Got a slice of cheese on the bottom, some chili on the top. Gonna close that door right there. The fries are on the table. And it is gonna be great. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's what we had going on yesterday. We got our beans canned, and the chili, once again, was excellent. I tell you what, it was fantastic. She does a great job with that chili. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate if you'd subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. And until next time, hope you have a great week.